Hey guys, this is Rob and this is Nifty Culture. I'm with Malachi and Mike. What's up, guys?
Hey Rob, how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Malachi, last time we were on the stream, I remember your POW, your POW Nifty failed, but I think you have an update.
Yeah, hold on. Everything's messed up right now. So let me try and get it pulled up. It's been crazy. I didn't have enough ETH in my MetaMask, which is like the ultimate fail of like ultimate fails. But since we chatted, I went ahead and completed the transaction. Hopefully, one of our friends, John, not the John from yesterday, but a different John, will be joining us. He was texting us during the stream trying to come on, and he had concerns that this was actually like a keylogger, and I don't think it is. But the skeptic in him with the mining of your Ethereum within it, I thought this was a pretty cool piece, especially considering it was free.
Dude, that is cool.
Yeah.
And what's the overall theme of the art? What is that? An atom or a periodic table element? What is it?
Yeah, so basically their kind of theme is kind of well like laid out for a project that looks like it was done mostly by one guy. But basically the art is just elements in the periodic table. And so he coded the contract to reward the atoms to each person was based on the rarity of those elements in the table. So like stuff like hydrogen, obviously the most common element in the universe, you're going to have a lot of hydrogens. Stuff like the really heavy elements down at the bottom of the periodic table, where some of them don't even occur naturally, you would assume those should be really, really rare, and probably not a lot of people getting them. Terbium, I'm not even sure what number that one is, but that sounds like a pretty rare one. It's got a ton of electrons, so probably rare. So that's probably a pretty good piece that you got there.
Look at the big brains on Brad with the electrons.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And about the keylogger suggestion, I didn't do an exhaustive study of the code, but I had already reviewed his mining code prior to us starting to mine, and I didn't see anything that looked suspicious. I went back through all of the code after John had made that suggestion just to like cover our bases, and I did my best to look through as much of it as I could, and I didn't see anything that resembled a keylogger. So I'm not going to go out and put my stamp on it being safe to use, but I think a precursory glance shows, or to me, makes me believe that if there is a keylogger there, it's some really exotic implementation of one, because there's nothing obvious in the code that looks like a keylogger.
Well, you heard it from here. Crypto Mike approved.
I think it's pretty safe. It's a really well thought out project for a small team, and I suspect it's just one guy based on the contact emails and stuff, which is all the more impressive. But it's at most a small team that put all this together, and he's got a curve worked out where like each one of these, there's like generations to the mining. So currently we're, I think, in either the 12th generation or 13th generation. Somewhere around 14th generation, the difficulty is going to start ramping up really fast, and so it's going to get a lot harder to be able to mine one at all. So
I want one now, Malachi. So I can do it on my computer.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of. It's not very resource intensive. So you can just open. It takes, I don't know, around 9 or 10 hours, I think, to probably have a chance to get one. But it's an easy way to get a relatively cool looking NFT for only the gas prices, which are low right now, which kind of helps this project up.
How do I find it?
Just go to the mining tab.
No, if you go to how do I Google it? What?
Yeah, POWNFT.com.
POWNFT.
POWNFT.com.
Yep.
And the POW is proof of work.
Just make sure you have your MetaMask logged in. So that way, if it gives you the alarm that it found an atom for you to mine, that you'll be able to connect it. Because what'll happen is everybody's mining all day, and you can, when you find a hash code that meets the criteria, it's based on the hash code of the previous mined atom. So if someone else finds one and you find one, it's a race to whoever can submit the transaction first, because once the transaction is submitted to the wallet, the hash code of the previous atom changes to the current atom. So basically it invalidates all mining that all people are doing, and everybody has to restart. So only one person can win at a time, and each time some person wins, everybody restarts.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, but what's weird is, so I got the alert as we were ending the chat, and then I had to go get more of my MetaMask. I came back like 30 minutes later, and I just clicked it, and it still minted it for me because I didn't close the window. So there's either not very many people that are mining these right now, so it's just a limited number. So the likelihood, if it's available, someone else isn't going to have mined it, or yes, we will spend some time on CryptoPunks. We have a surprise guest. We'll bring him on for a few minutes, talk about a project he's working on, and then definitely gonna pop into those CryptoPunks and really talk about where we're seeing the divergence in terms of certain prices are going up and certain prices are falling. But to finish the POW NFTs, it's the other thing I heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, is that they hid transaction fees and the gas fees. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know enough about Ethereum. So they are getting some movement, some benefit from it. I don't know if it's altruistic or not, but it's worth investigating if you know more about ETH than I do.
Well, I just started to mine one, so I'll let you know how it goes as well. I want a good element.
Did you get a camel?
No camel. Not yet.
No camels.
I mean, I could see it. If you put transaction fees in the contract, then you would want to get all of the pieces out there and have the project build up some momentum. That way, people, once the secondary market picks up, then you start getting that kind of reliable income stream. So I think it's hard to say where the project's going to go. It's not very expensive to enter. You're basically just paying like a reasonable. How much was your gas fees? You said like 20 or 30 bucks or what?
For the camel or for the other one?
For the atom.
It was like 70. So
$70.
It was definitely more expensive than some of the other NFTs I've purchased. But then I FOMO'd in. You spend all this energy.
Yeah.
Us being environmentally conscious, it would be irresponsible to spend energy with proof of work and then not take our atoms.
That's true.
And
you use solar energy though, Malachi. You pay extra and you use solar energy for your house, right?
Not yet. We're looking at it. I did. No, I almost pulled the trigger, but I mean, too much personal information. Like we may be moving further out, and so the next home with more space would
Oklahoma,
closer.
Ooh, all right.
Getting as close as we possibly can. Okay, so why don't we pull Rob, your friend, on?
We have a special guest today. Yeah, so it's a personal guest of mine, my buddy Josh. I've known Josh for a long time now, probably 6-7 years. And Josh is big into the crypto space. Also, he's big into the Nifty space. He's been in the crypto space ever since I've been in crypto as well. And he's connected with a design firm that can do some really interesting things with the augmented reality layer. So, hey, guys, this is my friend Josh.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
thanks for having me on, guys.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I was at a party in New York a while back, and I saw a bunch of my friends huddled up next to this guy, and I walked over. And I was like, "Hey, what are you guys looking at?" And he had basically like a donut or a muffin on the screen. It was just a picture of a muffin, and he was using his fingers to like rip the muffin open. So he was actually like interacting with the image or whatever. I'm like, man, this is amazing, So I did some research on it. I actually connected with him a couple of times. I found out it's like a highly proprietary tech. Nobody else has it. And when I was back in New York a few weeks ago, I met with him for lunch, and we're sitting there, and I'm thinking, dude, like there could be a connection here with the NFT world. Like we've all been buying crypto art and stuff. And in fact, I think most of us bought some of those DeLoreans when they launched.
Hell yeah, dude. I got my DeLorean. I love my DeLorean. Yeah. You can open the door. Psh, psh.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to that, but the difference is like with that requires an augmented reality engine, right? So you have to actually go into the Vive app and it's tech that's like housed in that app. You can't go play with your DeLorean anywhere else. And it's actually just taking something and projecting it onto something else, right? So it's not really, you're not really playing with the tangible thing. You're just kind of moving it around. And it's just, it exists inside of this, AR device, this engine. And then there's a question of like, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, are they going to maintain the app? Are they going to upgrade the tech? What's going to happen to your DeLorean, way down the line?
Yep.
And that's where like this technology, avoids all those issues because it's out in the web space, right? It's completely, it's 100% web-based media. So just like where our crypto art exists, right? It's all tied to like a URL. This would exist with that, forever. So, one of the big things that we wanted to do is get on the show today, get out to some of your followers, and try to find some artists that would like to or be interested in doing a collaboration with this group. The company's name is Momenti. They're based in New York City. They've already been doing some work with some big ad firms. And recently, some of those ad firms have actually reached out to them and said, hey, can you guys do some NFTs for us? And they do have a couple of developers there that are from the crypto space. So they're well positioned to do this. And I think we just need to connect and find some artists who want to do some badass collaborations,
Dude, that's like the next level stuff, man, because, it's one thing to be static and it's one thing to have a video, but if you can interact with it, dude, that's totally cool. Is there? Oh, can you throw a little bit demo on there? You show, yeah. Well, press play on that, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So here's a demo video. We don't have access to a live interactive version of the app yet, so that I'll definitely be excited to be able to actually play with this myself. But just to kind of give people an idea of what the video is like, what the app will be like.
Yeah, dude, that would be so cool. I can see how this would appeal majorly to advertising firms. Absolutely, man. Fashion, any apparel, if you want to look at different things, that's awesome. Malachi, check that out, dude. Like, be able to look at something and move it around.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm really interested in is how does this impact what the things like Artifacts, that big project that's drawing a lot of attention with drops from Blake Catherine and the others right now. And then you think about the Vive marketplace. They just had a big drop yesterday with
Cover Girls.
DC Cover Girls. Some of them are still available. I like the detail. But what's interesting about those is the augmented reality aspect is you just place them in an environment, and other than the DeLorean, they're not entirely interactive. But when you think about some of these new utility aspects of this interactivity, like the apes are always my lowest common denominator because I would love for people to do awesome, cool things with them. But I could see an environment
your apes?
My apes, yeah. Like I could see
That took how many minutes? Okay, all right. We have an over under.
Aping on the apes. I don't even. All right, I don't want to change the subject.
I love it.
Anyway, before I go look up the floor of apes, I think that there's a lot of utility, and what excites me is just all companies. I don't care what companies it is, just people who are trying to find new ways to add utility to these types of things. One of the things that I'm excited, think about the Teslas, right? Your key is now your phone, and we completely broke that relationship. I don't even own a Tesla. My next car will be a Tesla. But then you think about the things we talked about briefly yesterday. Like if I bought a new Rolex, and now Rolex minted a Nifty for me, and now that Nifty has the serial number that's on the Rolex, I now have on the ledger, my contract that now has that alignment for me. And then you add in some cool utility aspects of that. I think that the sky is the limit for a lot of these types of ideas. And we're to Mark Cuban and others who've talked about this is 1992 all over again. We're in the Wild West, and so I love when people want to come on here and share these new ideas with us and show some of the highlights. I think our main goal is to just get people talking, and I think that if there are any other artists, we'll promote it. We have that Discord that does have some top tier artists who we collaborate with on a regular basis. we'll share this on Twitter and other social media. I mean, maybe we can work together and put out a contest where, you know, we do some sort of artist entry, and either through social media or through some sort of collaboration, we get some cool art. You know, Showdeer right behind me produces a lot of NFTs, and I think that type of art would be really cool to come in. So yeah, I think that the sky's the limit here. Do you have any other comments that you want to share about this, or any other utility that you're thinking about for this product?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, there's just so many ways to skin this cat, you know. I mean, another thing that he mentioned during our lunch was, and I don't know how this would work, but I mean, you could, you know, charge people based on emissions. So it's almost like if it was a gallery, right? You know, for every interaction, there's like a charge. I don't know how that would play out, but I mean, it's certainly something that can be done. But I think the big thing is
sounds like an OnlyFans type of layer.
Oh, that's an idea.
That's billions right there, dude.
Yeah. I mean, but what really triggered me is, you know, I've been in these lobbies, you know, I've bid on all these art pieces, you know, whether it's on Nifty, Gateway, or whatever. And I just feel like if one of them had this differentiating factor that makes it really cool and you could actually play around with it, it would just increase the value that much more. And I think for the artist, that's the selling point. It's like, you know, what can you do to take your art to the next level and differentiate your work to create more value?
So there's two artists that I'm a big fan of, and I won't say their names right now because I want their permission first. But they're super, and we've interviewed both of them. So you could go troll through NFTCulture.com. We haven't done video interviews with them yet, but one of them comes from an industrial light and magic background, working on projects like Star Wars and Ready Player One. They're trying to create their own universe right now with NFTs, with their own IP. Another one of them is a traditional comic book artist. And so just watching the video, and once again, we were introduced to this yesterday, and we're doing some deep diving into it right now. But when you think about, and I talk about this all the time, my 6-year-old he would prefer to have interactivity with the items versus a physical comic book. When you think about like the interactive, the gesture based, these types of things, like, and there's been some of the Satoshi projects on Nifty Gateway that have been alluding to this next step, this next evolution in storytelling. One of the things that's interesting for me is if I'm an up and coming artist and I want to embrace the Nifty space, and now I can create not only a non-fungible token, I can create a brand, and I can create an interactive environment on the blockchain. I think that's incredibly compelling. And once again, I think like the experimentation that exists here. A few days ago, Mike and I were literally playing Snake that was wrapped in an SVG on Hen. And the fact that I'm playing a video game that is an NFT, that's on this fringe crypto Tezos thing, is just exciting to see where all these innovations are starting to come from. And so, you know, I think that you know, put it out there and just see what ideas people can come up with is a great idea.
Yeah, I almost think the value of this is almost in the, like, being almost like a provider to artists who are looking for a new level of interactivity. There's some technical challenges for sure with trying to introduce interactive stuff into Nifties. I have seen some people do it, but it's like very early stages, and this interactivity is definitely better than what I've seen. So if people are kind of looking for some real world examples of people who are doing this right now, but just not to this degree. One example, like Malachi said, is the Snake game on Hen. So if you just go on Hen and search for Snake. And then a second example is the Voxo Deuce project. Basically what they've done is when you view the Nifty on OpenSea, you can, it's basically a 3D rendering of the character, and you can spin the character around and look at it from different angles. So they're both interactive, and they're both kind of interesting interaction, but they really are just kind of whetting your appetite for that interactivity. Like the first time I saw Voxo Deuce, even though it truly is nothing you haven't seen before, it's just a 3D character that you can spin around and look at. The first time I saw that, I was like, holy smokes, how did they manage to do that? Because you know, everybody kind of thinks of Nifties as just a JPEG or just an MP4 file. So I tore it apart and looked at the underpinnings, and there is a lot of technical complexity to be able to wrap a player that can allow that interaction, even just basic interaction, like on like a 3D, like just a camera control. So this much more complex gesture-based interaction definitely, I think, would be super compelling and awesome. And so I think just being able to put that platform out there and let artists just kind of run wild with it, I think would be amazing. But yeah, it's definitely a compelling experience, and I'm really interested to see like a real application of it.
Dude, I think it's super cool. A lot of applications. We need to get an artist over there. We need to figure out an artist to help and connect over there, and we can do it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people on our staff or in our little group would probably be interested.
Yeah.
We just need to see like,
Okay.
I think it's kind of, the one thing about it is like, it seems like somebody who's more 3D based probably would be better suited than a kind of the more traditional people. So that's kind of the,
is it a lot of layering too, right? Is it people like, and that's the things that we'll want to go with you offline and try and figure out and do some ideation, and then, you know, bring a couple of the artists that we collaborate with pretty closely together. And then definitely, and that'd be a cool idea from a utility standpoint, is, you know, throw it out there, get a couple artists that win the contest and let them try and break it or come up with something like truly unique and cool.
Amazing. Yeah. Something amazing.
There'd be some really awesome pieces to that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think. That's awesome.
yeah, and I love trying to support artists and give them new avenues to work with too. So it's right in our Nifty culture wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's great. Anything else, Josh? Anything else cool? Anything else you want to mention? Do you want to hang on for our next conversation about crypto punks and neat stuff?
Yeah, why not?
All right, cool. What about these crypto punks you're talking about now? What's the big deal? What's going on?
No, we're talking about apes first.
Oh, fine. Let's go do that. I like this.
The ape update of the day is that there are only 3 apes on OpenSea that are under 0.4 ETH. The floor is rising, which is really, really exciting for me. And, you know, that's all I have to say about that.
Wow, that's 11 grand. No, 0.4. Yeah.
So, you know, there's been a lot of talk lately, and I know Daniel's been looking at some of this. I know this morning, PO had some folks on who are, you know, the nifty insiders, early adopters for the punks. I know you have 2 punks, I think. You got talked out of a third, and I know you regret that.
I would have bought all the punks.
And I mean, there's people that are holding hundreds of punks, but what I see happening right now is like there's this concept. There's 2 types of collectors right now, and I'm in the first batch where I'm just trying to find cool art, and I'm less compelled to say I want to start buying for rarity. Like for me, with my ape, I bought an ape that I thought looked cool. I wasn't looking at the individual attributes of that ape. With the camel, I did the same thing.
Dude, that's the same thing I did with my CryptoPunk. I wanted one that looked like me, and I got one for Alicia that looked like her.
And that's the right way, in my opinion, to do it long term. But like when you think,
maybe I should change my Twitter handle to that picture.
You should start getting on Twitter.
In general.
And you know, I think so to add a layer of depth, I think like when you think about the me bits and like that huge thing that draw a lot of attention, like the rarity, someone figured out how to cancel transactions because all of them were minted, they could see the attributes. I think that a lot of the frustration that people were having is like, if I'm a collector and I'm just a collector, I'm probably going to try and pick. And I think the floor right now on some of the apes, I could be wrong, is around 10. No, it's higher than that. I think it's like 14 ETH. I'll pull it up
for the floor for some attributes.
No, to just pick up a CryptoPunk.
Oh, you mean a punk now? Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. But what's interesting, if I'm looking at a punk from an investment standpoint, I'm starting to think about it a little bit differently. So if I want a super rare punk, like Gary Vee just spent, like $780,000 on a punk. I think I don't have it up. So like while the floor of the common punks seems to be falling, the upper limit on the rare punks seems to be constant or rising. And so I'm curious what y'all think. And do we continue to see this have and have nots, where the commonplace of collecting common punks is becoming more accessible, where the rarer get rarer and rarer? I'm curious of your thoughts.
I think the collectors in the market right now, I mean, we had that explosion where everybody was coming in and throwing money at everything. And so it's very low level sophistication of collectors. I think what we're seeing now is the people who are still hanging around and recognize the value of the space. They're just naturally a higher level of sophistication. And I think the philosophy of buy art you love is definitely getting around more. So I think people are I think the last thing you want to do on any project right now, even something like CryptoPunks, but maybe that's an exception to some degree. But I think the last thing you want to do, we'll take Meebits for an example, is just go up there and just buy the cheapest one just so that you have a foot in the door. I think a month ago or 2 months ago, I think people were just like, all I care about is foot in the door. I don't know why people like these things. I just want to be part of it. So they're just buying anything and everything. But the people who are currently in the market now, it's the people who are like, well, if I'm going to spend 0.74 ETH on a Meebit that I don't even like, why don't I just spend 1 ETH on a Meebit that I actually do like?
Right.
So I think
that's what I was like.
Yeah, I think the lower appeal items are just going to naturally drop, which is good because that's what they should do, and that's probably good for everybody because then
for the whole market.
Yeah, more people can enter. People are buying stuff that they actually like, which encourages the creators to not just put a bunch of garbage items out there. They have to put out items that will at least have some appeal to everybody. So I think it's definitely we just have a different group of people in this market right now. It's not just everybody who read a CNN article about Beeple trying to get rich, which that was not a healthy market anyway. So it's probably better that we've moved past that.
I mean, where do you guys rank? Like, if obviously, I wish we didn't say it all the time, but this isn't financial advice, but art and blockchain, people think about it in that regard. If money is not an option, let's say I have $100,000 to throw away, and I have to buy one piece of crypto art. One or two.
I'd be buying a CryptoPunk.
Money's not an object. I'm going to pick 1 to 3 pieces of crypto art. What are my top 3 pieces or collections?
CryptoPunk.
It's hard because are you saying that like I know what I know, but I don't own anything, or I know what I know and I own what I currently own? I mean, I guess for me, I would probably buy.
For me, I don't have a Beeple, right?
Yeah.
And I'm buying retail X copy. I'm buying retail F-render. I'm buying retail. I'm trying to get a Slime Sunday, right? So like I'm in a different. I'm late to the party. I'm early long term, but I'm like 3 months behind you. So I didn't get my Beeple. And if I did get my Beeple, I would have sold it for $10,000 because that's me. Before it went to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So all that being said, okay, I have unlimited money, but I can only pick 3, not pieces, but I can only pick 3 pieces of art from 3 different people. Who do I pick?
For me personally, the under $100,000 piece that I don't own that I wish I owned is Dead Ramen by Mad Dog Jones. And this isn't advice.
I was gonna get that, dude, when it dropped. I was gonna get that, but yeah. Alicia told me I should have got it, but I was like, nah.
Sergito got a ramen for like free, relatively speaking, in the last few days. Yeah.
That's my favorite piece of everything that I don't own is that one right there.
I love that piece too.
Okay, so ramen. Which on the grand scheme of things is like just went for $9,900. So
no, it's over. It's like 30,000.
Dead ramen just went for $9,900.
Malachi, you're killing me here. If this is true, I am going to be so pissed off.
Why would I lie? Like I don't want to. I don't want to cry. Here you go.
Because now he's going to have to buy one.
Why were they going for 9,000?
All right, so. Let's start over. I have $90,000 left. I've got my ramen. I can buy a Rebirth right now for $27K.
Oh my God. What happened to it? Like, what the
Mike.
hell?
Did I just ruin your day?
Well, here, look, here. I'm gonna let me share real fast.
Well,
All right. While he's pulling that up,
Mike is
Josh,
about to buy a $9,000 Nifty right now.
No, if I hadn't have bought that cats, I would have definitely be buying a ramen right
Okay,
now.
so
that's
we're
why
100%.
he's upset because he could have bought that one.
We're 100% on Beeple, or we're 100% on CryptoPunks. Josh,
Yes.
what are your thoughts?
I mean, if I had to go with 3, is it under 100 grand here? Is that what we said?
You
Yep.
can no limitations. You can pick 3 pieces of art. Period. What are your 3? And it doesn't have to be the piece of art. It could be the artist. So, is CryptoPunks one of your top 3?
Oh, definitely. I'm with Robert. And actually, I was going to mention Mad Dog Jones, but then my 3rd would be Beeple.
Yep.
Hey, I see Daniel asking a question in the chat. It's even though people were able to somehow snipe this thing for 9,000. If you look at the market right now, the floor is currently back up at 27,000.
I bet if you put a global offer for 11,000, you're
Maybe.
You're
I
Do it,
think
Mike.
if you can get
Do
that
it,
for
Mike.
11. Well, like I said, I bought that cat, so now I'm funds poor at the moment. I gotta
sell some ETH. Get that ramen.
I gotta wait a little bit. But if you can snag one for 11,000, that's ridiculous. I can't believe these 3 sales right here happened. I don't know what the sellers were thinking. Sergito is a well-known sniper of pieces like on good deals, so I mean that's a great pickup by him. I don't know how that happened. It's been sitting at 30,000 for so long.
And Daniel, I was listening into your conversation with PO. Don't quote me on this, but we believe that there is a whitelisted partnership that you can get with Nifty Gateway, and you should be able to set global offers as long as you can back it up. So that's where you're seeing a few traders who are able to put what appears to be hundreds of thousands of dollars of global offers out at any given time. So if that's going to be something you're thinking about, that might be worth looking at. The other crazy thing right now is there's a Uniswap for sale for under 2K, and I almost bought that.
I'm looking at it right now. There's one. It has 199. There's 2 of them under 2,000.
Are you going to get it?
I could.
No, bro, because you know what? My machine hallucinations by Rafik that I want is now down to 4,000.
You going to get the Rafik?
Bro, I love that piece. I follow him all the time. He's doing museum installations all the time. He's doing something cool all the time. I just wish I had the physical piece that went along with it.
Is it past it still, or do you still have time to buy it? I think it was like June 29th or something that like the...
No. This is from the original drop. The drop like 2 drops ago, which is the best one.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I might do? I might message the person and tell them I'll buy it, but I want the physical print too, if they have it. I'll ask them if they have it. I want that.
Yeah, I mean, so we've gotten some answers. I think we all agree on CryptoPunks. I think
3 CryptoPunks. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, CryptoPunks is probably here to stay, pretty sustained. I think we all
have a V-friend. You had to buy a V-friend, bro, with your 100,000.
Dude, look at these pickups by this Rock 11T guy. While I just have this up, he picks up Thought as a System, which is an edition of 50 for 24 grand. After it had previously been selling in the 6-figure range, he picks up Dead Ramen for 10 grand. He's the first person to get one of these super low sales. It's an edition of 67. That's what makes Dead Ramen special. That's cool. It's the low count, and I think some have been burned too. Like compare it to Lotus Train, which is it's a cool piece, but it just doesn't have the intricate detail of Dead Ramen. And Lotus Train 148, and people are. I mean, this guy bought it for 8,000 just on the 25th. That's how crazy these prices are. I gotta. My mind is completely blown. I gotta go do a whole bunch of Mad Dog Jones research now after this call to try to figure out like what's going on with Mad Dog Jones. Why did somebody just decide to try to tank the market? I just don't even. I just missed out on this. I'm so let down on this.
The market.
Dead Ramen's like my all-time fave.
Yeah, you got some work ahead of you.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I'll let everybody know what I find.
All right, so Daniel says he's going to buy a punk, which we can't help you buy a punk. There's punk. Here's the recommendation: buy a punk that looks like you.
Yeah, buy a punk that looks like you, man.
That's the hard
I
thing
don't know.
about this.
I don't think the price drops anymore. I think we were in that weird window where people, the dust has settled from the great ETH crash of 2021. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think that the quick swapping of dollars, where people were trying to turn their fiat pieces, and I mean, this isn't CryptoPunks because it's inherently ETH based, but like, I think things are calming down now, or maybe this is why we're seeing some of those pieces go for cheap, where if I have a credit card to pay off, or I can get, if I think that the floor of a Mad Dog Jones now for a ramen is going to stay at 10K or even 15K, and I think that the price of ETH is going to go up 100%, I'm still making 25% by switching my fiat back into ETH. And then once it pops back up, getting the ramen, even if the ramen goes up 30%, I'm still up quite a bit. So I think that's a big one. Yeah, Xcopy is one of my favorites. I got an afterburn for 888. And it's funny, I've been putting out a bunch of globals on some of the higher, and so like talking about tier 2 artists, for not tier 2, they're still tier 1, but they're not, if I have unlimited money, I'm going to go buy this, because a lot of these artists are more accessible right now. I picked up in the last 3 weeks Xcopy 888. I picked up FRender for 600 balance. I picked up a Victor and Victoria for 888. And then I picked up a Lay Anime, who Too Much Lag is doing a drop June 2nd, and it's exclusive to holders. And it's $1 a drop on each of those. So that's going to be a super limited collection at Too Much Lag. I like that a lot. And then I picked up a few faces for the Blau drop tonight. I think if Pio's still listening in, I'm sure he's going to be doing a drop watch. So anyone who's watching, go over to Escape Velocity after this so that you can listen to Pio talk about the Blau drop.
Nice.
What else? We're going to be doing the Beeple ranking in the near future, if we ever get to it, where we're going to pull up every piece of Beeple art that's not part of the B20, and we're going to give our thoughts on which pieces we think are the best and which pieces, which are, Beeple did some stuff that wasn't in the 5,000 days that drew a lot of attention. And does that make it more collectible long term? Does that make it less collectible long term? I'm sure a couple people have strong opinions on that. And then hopefully John's on with us to talk about Into the ETH, which he thinks is the perfect piece and a metaphor for crypto art at large. And so hopefully we can all do that and start ranking the Beeples. What else?
Yeah, I got one more thing to show today.
Hit it.
So just something cool. Of course, we talk about Hen quite a bit. Me and Malachi are definitely big fans of Hen, just because it makes actually pretty good art available relatively cost effectively. You can get a lot of really good stuff for 2 TES, which works out right now to be like $5. So it's kind of like for those of you who make a big purchase early in the month and you're trying to pay that off before the end of the month, and you don't want to run up any extra credit card bills before the bill ends, then TES or Hen is a great place to spend some money. But what I found today, which I thought is really cool, I'll share this too, is there is a web app called oncyber.io, and you can hook up your TES wallet to it, and you can build out your own little 3D library. It's very similar in concept to Rare Rooms. So nothing really necessarily groundbreaking with this, although it does have some features that I like, which is you get to pick where each one of your art pieces go. So you can and it also has several different rooms. I picked this kind of busted out warehouse, but there's a few there's like a more art gallery looking one. So you can actually customize the backdrop for your little gallery. But I really like that you can kind of customize where each piece goes. So it's not like Rare Rooms where it just auto lays it out for you. And Rare Rooms also has a limit of like 6 or 7 for a normal wallet. But yeah, it's just kind of a sweet way. I just really like to look at the pieces in 3D. This will let you customize frames. I think it'll let you customize sizes. Mine is basically uncustomized. I just basically threw the art on the wall just to try to get this set up to play around and see if it was worth it. But if you want a kind of a cool way to look at your hen purchases, then definitely check out oncyber.io.
Cool.
This is pretty sick. I'm messing with mine now. I won't pull mine up today, but maybe tomorrow I'll pull mine up. And then tomorrow we're going to do the actual happy hour where we have some cool topics. Maybe we do the bullet. Oh, there's a question. Yeah. It connects to your
Well, I got mine locked right now, but okay, now this is actually my public URL that anybody can go to look at my collection. But yeah, when I set up this URL, basically I had to connect my Tezos wallet, which is, I use Temple, to the site, just like you would any other like integrated site. And it'll find all your art pieces, and then it has little spots that you can click on to pick which piece goes where. Cool. It's really easy. Oh,
and
sorry
Rob,
about that.
You know, that is awesome. I'll get mine and we can pull them up too, because I felt like 888 for like a week, just even before Mike bought some stuff on Tezos. He's like, hey, this looks cool, buy this for me. And so we had some fun with it. But you know, POW dropped tonight just very quickly. They fixed, hopefully, the drawings, and so even if you have multiple faces or glass in your Nifty Gateway account, not your wallet, but you can enter multiple times. So just be glad that you didn't sell or donate one of your faces to me, Rob. So you'll be able to enter and try and get it. And it's a good drop. And there's everyone's talking about like apparently like certain pieces of it, you get a piece of ownership of the album when it drops. I don't know any of the details there, but there's going to be some exciting stuff, you know, continuing to talk about the utility aspect. I'm excited for the POW drop. Honestly, if I get one, I'll probably try and flip it now and see if the price can get high enough that I can get a Mad Dog Jones or get that Uniswap, because that looks like a pretty cool piece.
I want that. And a Mona Sativa.
We didn't even get to talk about that. We were going to talk about the fractionalization. Do you guys have a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
Josh, you're being quiet. You hop in if you have any thoughts.
He wants a fractional ownership of a CryptoPunk.
Yeah. Hey, are we going to run into PO stream if we take too long?
No, I mean, I don't know. Let's do. We'll
How do we bring him on in?
Yeah, no, he's got to go live on us. It doesn't work. Like he has to either kick us off or do a different stream. So let's go ahead and just wrap for today. You know, Josh, we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Josh.
Wait to work with you to find artists to bring and collaborate. Anything that we can do to help, super awesome. We'll splice that video off too and make it its own video. And then, you know, tomorrow we'll be doing the, you know, Nifty happy hour again. We might have a couple surprise guests for tomorrow's topic. I'd love to do the people ranking. I'd love to spend some time talking about DAOs and the fractionalization of the CryptoPunk. So I think we got some good topics. But let's go buy some blouse.
I love it. This has been Nifty Culture. This is Malachi, Rob, and Mike. And thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you.